is decision day for America. Right now, voters are casting their ballots for the next president of the United States. And joining us now with their insights on this historic race are our political analysts, Wendy Patrick and Laura Fink. Ladies, welcome to the floor. Glad to have you here.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Have you ever seen a margin so close in a presidential race?
It's wild. But yes, I mean, we saw it last time. Remember, it was the results stretched out into the weekend. Ballots were being counted. So many mail votes were being submitted. This is something we have seen before. Razor-thin margins on the polling. The question is, are the polls with the real votes going to be as close as the polls say? That's an open question. The polls may be off, or they could be spot on.
They could be spot on, and that's one of the things we worry about when we compare this election to 2016, or they could be completely wrong. Remember how far ahead Hillary Clinton was in 2016. Everybody called it. It was almost a surprise. And Laura, you and I were both here talking about it. Everybody was so surprised at the result because of some of the same dynamics, not just gender dynamics, but the shy voter dynamics, those that decided to stay home because they thought Hillary has the race in the bag. So many of those same similarities are present today, except that the numbers are closer.
Let's talk about the exit polling for a moment. What are we seeing, especially when it comes, Wendy, to the gender gap?
Well, the gender gap seems to be almost predictably, a lot of women are breaking for Harris. A lot of men, both young men and older men, especially white men, are breaking for Trump. But is that really the way it's going to shake out? Are there more women, for example, that plan to vote for Donald Trump that are willing to admit it? And then likewise, on the other hand, are there men who maybe are in predictably blue districts that are planning to vote for Donald Trump? I do have to say it's going to be a bit of a gender reveal at the end of the evening, and that's going to really break through demographic lines, but also show us how honest these polls are and how much we can really count on them in the long run.
Laura?
Unprecedented. I mean, this is a double-digit gender gap. We know that women tend to vote for Democrats more often than Republicans, but this is unprecedented. And Kamala Harris, should she maintain these numbers, it means she is winning conservative independents, and she's winning some Republican women. This is unheard of if she's able to maintain these numbers. This historic gender gap, of course, is related to the Dobbs decision, which came after the 2020 election. So this is the first election in which national election, in which women are casting their ballots with the potential abortion issue at top of mind. And we know that's a driving force. We've seen it in election after election since that decision came down.
I'm going to share with you a little bit of information that CBS News is sharing from some exit polling that Trump supporters say that the top issues for them are the economy and immigration. Harris supporters are saying it's democracy and abortion. But 7 in 10 are dissatisfied or angry about the way things are going nationally. Who does that help and who does that hurt, Laura?
The wind is at Donald Trump's back because Kamala Harris is sort of the functional incumbent as the vice president of the United States. It is going to be, again, unprecedented if she's able to beat the fact that 3/4 of the country is dissatisfied with the economy and more than 60% think the country is going in the wrong direction. She has run a supernova of a campaign to close the gap on the economy and to confront those numbers. Virtually any other election, we would see the incumbent or virtual incumbent lose on the basis of those numbers. The fact that she is in the mix is a testament to her strength as a candidate and her campaign.
And that's especially true given her late entry into the race, because when you talk about change, she says, I want to turn the page. I'm the change candidate. The very last answer Donald Trump gave at that last debate was, why haven't you done it yet? And there's a lot of Americans that feel that way. You know, the Saturday Night Live skit, they said, keep Kamala and carry on a law. Remember that line? Americans don't want to carry on a lot. They want to change. They want to go back to where they were, where they had more money for gas and groceries and all the kitchen table issues we talk about. She has a tough challenge in seeking to show people how she can get there without being able to specifically articulate a path. I mean, it's hard to articulate a path. It would be hard for Donald Trump to specifically articulate a path. But that's a challenge that she inherited because she's part of the Biden campaign.
Let's talk about something that is a minor story now, but I will believe will be a major story as we start to see some more numbers come in. The early vote, 84 million votes were cast early. That is something that could be unprecedented. How does that compare to 2020 numbers? Again, that was smack dab in the middle of COVID. And back in 2020, Republicans were widely told to vote on Election Day. This go round, they have been told to vote early.
That has changed. That has changed significantly. And most of the early vote now was favoring Republicans when it was usually the opposite. And Donald Trump himself was saying, wait till Election Day and do it. Now those numbers they look good for Donald Trump, but again, unprecedented means unpredictable.
Laura.
Look, when you have early vote changing, right now we know there's a gender gap among early vote. With Kamala
Right.
doubling down and winning women by such margins, the question is, who's voting and what does it mean? It's hard to read tea leaves. Early vote does not tell you everything. What we do know is that there's energy and organization on the Republican side. The question is, with Donald Trump farming out his ground game to Elon Musk, who has never done it before, is he able to innovate? And with Kamala Harris, with the highest levels of intensity since Barack Obama among the Democratic base, will she be able to channel that into a field operation that makes up that half point, that 1 point? And so these are the questions that will be answered by voters today.
All right. Wendy Patrick, Laura Fink, we appreciate your expertise. I know